place that you wall off is like huge, like Foxtrot Labs, for example. It's just too big. But here on what map is this? Catalina. We kind of have the like inverse problem, and I put that in quotes because it's kind of nice, but then at the same time you're forced to make some. Oh well, Sulky is gonna expand at Zez's natural. I think this is a little pointless. I think Sulky knows that too. He knows that it's a forge opening. So basically, what's going to play out is Zess is going to throw down a cannon. Sulky is going to cancel. And the whole reason why Sulky did this is to delay the natural expansion of the Protoss. He has no intention of actually putting a hatch up. Don't worry. So cannon goes up, and that will guarantee the end of this hatch. He's actually gonna put 2 up because of I guess the fact that he's floating and that his Nexus will be late. I'd like to see him get a gateway up, just for the sake of tech progression later, but and since he, well, I mean, nah. Anyways, I guess hatcheries do gain health pretty fast, and he does have to react to it appropriately, otherwise it will just kill him. What?
This little probe shocking the hatchery, growing, and then get the cannons blasted to smithereens.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Zest has pylon blocked both Zerg expansions with and let them complete because he can't delay the Zerg expansions anyway. So this is kind of nice. Kind of good response coming out of Zest, pulling all the right tricks, as it were. And so Zest is, or Sulky rather, is forced to expand towards Zest. Basically he's taking his natural in the last place he wants to take a third. Or I mean, he might take a third there, depending on how his creep spread goes. But I mean, I think for Zest, that's kind of where he wants to take his fourth. Because of how much it is towards his Protoss opponent. And especially with this ramp here and this choke here, it's very awkward to play against an Immortal all-in if Zest were to go for that. Anyways, the Lings are out for Sulky, and he will clear off this last pylon. And he's gonna go up to 3 hatches very fast before gas. So, I mean, he can do so safely because he knows that the Protoss opened with a forge. This is a interesting wall from Zest, and this is kind of what I mean though. Because it's so such a small ramp by comparison to all the other ramps that Protoss have had to deal with, you run into these like really unusual ways of walling. And so I mean, he's basically walled this all with 1 pylon. Now if this 1 pylon dies, he's in a lot of trouble. But he's probably gonna put like another pylon there or something. Or maybe more like there. Anyways. Soul Key sees the timing of the cybernetics core. His third is finishing up now, and he's just gonna continue droning. If he wanted to be aggressive, he could think about taking gas and throwing down a Roach Warren, but that just doesn't seem very Soul Key-esque. Not that Soul Key isn't the type of person to do that, but if he's gonna go up to 3 bases, I don't think he's gonna go for an aggressive push. I think he's quite content to macro. Zest is getting a Stargate, which shouldn't surprise anyone at all. It's Zest. Basically, when it comes to Stargates and Zest, my impression is that Zest, he's not, like, dependent on Stargates, or, like, Stargate is the only thing he knows, but Zest kind of has this, like, if there's a new thing with Stargates to do, Zest kind of did it first. So, I mean, it's not like he's necessarily the best with every kind of Stargate play, or that he only does Stargate play, but if it flies, Zest likes it, or knows how to use it. It's gonna be Phoenix. So I think he's gonna open with maybe 3 Phoenixes, and then get a handful of Zealots, and possibly, I mean, he should get Robotech just because he put down a Robo. I mean, I don't know what stuff he's gonna get out of it exactly. I imagine Immortals for Roaches if needed. Definitely a couple of Observers, but if there are no Roaches, he might just go straight to Colossus after the Observers. He's gonna get his 4 more Gateways, probably just so that he can, or 5. Okay, that says aggression. So like 4 is expand, 5 is like probably aggression. It's gonna be a Warp Prism actually, so that makes sense now with the Gateways. He doesn't have a Twilight for charge or anything like that. That would be more of a Xenador move. Xenador gets early charge, if you guys didn't know. Which can be very strong. Maxetta has done it too, so, you know. That's interesting. He picks up a Sentry. It hasn't accumulated much energy yet, but we're pretty early into the game still, so a Sentry in the early game moving across the map can make for some very interesting engagements. Let's see what Soulkey has. Virtually no army. He has a couple of lings here and there. He knows that it's coming because of his lings have spotted that there's stuff coming, and okay. So Zest is going to zone him out of his own main. And meanwhile, Zealots are gonna attack the third on foot. This is very nice. The Phoenixes are just gonna pick up this one queen in the main, basically meaning that this Warp Prism is secure. And as long as, provided that force fields are constantly put down. Good transfuse from the low ground. And he is out of force fields. This pylon... Oh, well, pylon's going down. Another force field. Okay, he's fine. And that queen is gonna die, unless it gets transfused again, which it doesn't, because none of the queens have enough energy for a transfuse. The zealots really should move away and go attack while he warps the... Oh man! Oh, that can't feel good. That wasn't a pylon, that was a cannon!
Oh no.
The queens are gonna come up this ramp because he didn't have enough energy for a force field. Now he does. But there's already a lot of army up this ramp in the form of queens. And the other queens can now fire from the low ground since they have vision. They should rearrange themselves for the rest of the lings to get in. But I think Sulky will be able to clean this up regardless. Behind this, Zest is not producing anything, so I guess he's just hoping to clean this up. And with his phoenixes, he's making good trades given circumstance, but now he's out of... his force field has expired, so more lings are gonna flood in. These spine crawlers have finished. I'm not exactly sure what Zest is supposed to do from here, as the battle is slowly moving in favor of Sulky. 1-1 is being researched for Sulky, so Sulky feels confident that he can hold this, and he's thinking about transitioning. Though, actually, with the queen falling, now there's not enough DPS in the Zerg army, and Zest looks like the tide is turning back in his favor. I think Sulky underestimated the Protoss Phoenixes, actually. Because the queens are both very low health. If either one of them gets picked off, it'll die. So, one gets picked up, that's dead. The other one gets picked up, that's dead as well. Both spine crawlers fall. And suddenly, it looks like Sulky is going to have to tap out. Force fields are perpetual. This lair is not long for this world. There's more than enough sentries here, so I mean, unless Zest forgets to put a force field down, that is not getting in here.
Here comes the supply gap.
What is that?
Here comes the supply gap falling down.
Oh yeah. I don't know why he's using his sentries for that. He should use his phoenixes. And he missed a force field. That's why he should have been using his phoenixes. Oh man, you don't get to do that too often for a Korean pro gamer. What you did wrong. That does not happen often. It doesn't matter though. There's not enough queens. There's no Roachworn. There's no Spire. I mean, the Spire is being built, but it's being built in the main. So, I mean, that's just gonna get targeted once it finishes.
Unless there's something really interesting going on the third or something.
It's not on the production tab.
Yeah, he looks dead.
I mean, yes, there's not much army for Zest, but there's no army for Sulky. These phoenixes don't have enough energy to pick up that queen like they would like to, but, I mean, does it matter? The phoenixes are going to get shot at by a... Oh! That's where the... Okay. I thought that this was the spire, but the spire